Media Park Live, powered by Redmi Media, Unbranded and New Business Radio.
Well, welcome back. This is the last interview, and I can't believe that. That's what now, 16 interviews since we started the show. And so I've now done 16 interviews. This is my 4th ever radio interview, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's all new to me too. So if I make a mistake,
Not to worry.
So welcome, Les, to the show. You're here
Thank
to
you.
talk to us about Cooke lenses. I'm learning today all about Cooke lenses, but I hear there's a huge history about Cooke lenses.
There
so
is
maybe you should
indeed.
start about the history. Tell us about why Cooke lenses are famous.
Well, it goes back to the 1880s. William Taylor, who started the company, we produced the first Cooke lens in 1893. We've been making them ever since. They've been instrumental in the movie industry from day one. We have quotes and working letters from William Taylor to George Eastman and Thomas Edison. So there's a real relationship to the movie industry. And then in the 20s, when sound movies came in, there were no fast lenses. And they used to light either with sunlight or with arc lamps. Most people here never heard of a carbon arc lamp, but they're big, noisy, smoky, and they made a lot of light, but they're obviously, because they're noisy, you can't use them on a soundstage. So the state of incandescent lighting in the 1920s was pretty primitive. And Cooke made the series of lenses that became called the Speed Pancros. And we have letters in the file from studio heads saying, these lenses made talking movies possible.
Wow. So it wasn't just a quality cell, it was also unique in its technology application for the day.
We've always been a leader in technology. Today, fast forwarding 100 years, we make 9 series of lenses to support the industry. That's more than any of our competitors. So we're a small company. Most of my competitors are billion-dollar companies. We're not. We're very small. But that makes us hungry, and I really believe the only way to stay ahead of these billion-dollar companies is to out-innovate them and just keep moving forward as fast as we can.
And where do you manufacture in one base?
We do. We've been in Leicester, England, since the 1880s.
In England?
In England, yes.
And why England? Is that historic?
Because that's where William Taylor started the company.
And it's always so. Most of the crew are all British.
Yes.
Yeah. And okay. And now, how did you?
Except for me.
Oh, no. That's about So how did that work out? How did you get involved in an ancient but well-established British company?
I was the U.S. distributor of various products they made from the early 80s. And because the company is part of the rank organization at this point in time, and because of differences in steering of the rank organization and their priorities, Cooke had fallen on really hard times and was really, for all practical purposes, dead. I was able to buy it in 98. And as they say, the rest is history.
And that was
went from strength to strength.
Like a labor of love, in a way, to save a great company.
Absolutely. And, and create a great business for,
And you must be
people there.
terrifically proud of what you've achieved.
I am indeed, and I didn't do it alone. I did it with a lot of help.
And so how big is the team in Leicester?
When I took over, it was 36, and now we're up to about 140.
Most of them involved in the construction and
Yes.
manufacture of the lenses themselves.
Yes. We run very lean on admin. Our bigger departments are R&D and design, and then, of course, our biggest department is in the manufacturing.
And are you using any specific methodologies to kind of drive innovation into your team in the way of design and solve problems?
No. We pride ourselves on being out in the marketplace and talking to a lot of directors of photography, cinematographers, and trying to ascertain what they want next, and then go back to base and say, let's do this. And, it's a bit of a risky business because obviously I need to guess now. Excuse me. I need to guess now what they're going to want in 2020. So But so
But
far,
that's the trick, isn't it?
well, so far, knock on wood, we've
Yeah.
been very successful.
Obviously, you're getting it right time and time again.
Yeah, most of the time.
So
I'd like to think
what's the most exciting range you've got at the moment?
They're all exciting.
Okay, so what would you say is the one that really
Well,
gets you going?
our most, well, I have to say, I'm equally enthused about all of them. We started with the first modern prime lenses for the industry, the S4s 20 years ago. They're still on back order 20 years later.
Wow.
That's impressive.
And they're then the kind of weapon of choice, as it were, for the kind of traditional filmmaker?
I think, well, there's traditional filmmaking doesn't mean much anymore. It's because of digital. It's all sort of wound together, and also a lot of broadcasters now are shooting cinematically for their prime time. So there's it's all been grayed between video, TV, motion picture. But the S4s are probably the standard of the industry. They're the go-to lens for the industry. More recently, with the new cameras, the large format cameras that are still frame size instead of motion picture frame size, we've introduced 2 series of lenses for those. We're not really innovative on names. The full frame lenses are called S7, Series 7. And then we just introduced this year at IBC the full frame anamorphic lenses. And our lenses have been really well received, and we're backordered on things we haven't even made yet.
And what big pictures in the most recent few years have been using your lenses?
Well, going back a few years, there was Chicago. That was one of the early ones. Then Hugo a couple of years ago, 12 Years a Slave. I frankly don't even remember them all. If you go to our website, they're listed. There are thousands of pictures. Going back, for instance, to the very first Academy Award-winning film called Wings, which was a silent film, but that was a Cooke film.
Do you reckon you could spot a Cooke film towards a film made with a different lens?
There are some telltale signs. In the industry, there's what's called the Cooke look, and that's a name that was given. We did be shot with Cooke lenses.
Makes you look good.
Yeah.
I think I have to come and visit.
Yeah, it doesn't do a lot of good for me, but...
well, I don't know.
Maybe a little.
Well, I think we're out of time. Is there one other thing you'd like to leave about Cooke lenses for the rest of the audience, Frank? Come and see the stand?
Come and see the stand, 12D10.
Excellent. Well, look, Les, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for being my last guest.
And I thought we were going to go on for an hour and a half.
I'm sorry, but we're not allowed to.
Okay.
We have to stop now.
Here, Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think that's the end of the show. Am I still talking? All right. Well, okay, look, thanks for listening to me and making lots of mistakes. Thank you to Rolf for helping me behind the scenes. And, have a great IBC.
Media Park Live, powered by IBC Media